I'll kind of be over here, just like this.
Okay.
And I'll come over here. I'll kind of sit here and I'll explain it to you. All right, Chris, so what we're going to go over today, all right, is going to be a basic audiogram, all right, and then I kind of talk about that. And as I go through it, I go, you know, one thing that has gotten me into this practice is actually my passion, which is my grandparents. My grandmother had a very severe hearing loss, has one, 88 years old, but if you ask her, she's going to tell you she's old enough to know better and young enough to resist, all right? What she has that's very common in a lot of patients is she has a very high frequency loss, all right? What that means is she basically tells me she hears things, she just doesn't understand them, okay? What ends up happening is it drops down to the high frequencies and things become very muffled, all right? You know, at a point in time, especially when I was in high school, I would say things to her like, you know, Grandma, I'm going home at 8. And she looked at me and she goes, who are you on a date with? And it was so funny to me because, you know, it was one of those situations where she misheard me and I told her again and she understood. Or, you know, at dinner I'd ask her to pass the milk or something and she'd look at me, she'd give me the smile and the head nod. And then basically she'd just keep eating. And for me, I'm sitting there going, I was so confused and so was she. You know, one of these things that it led to is it stopped being funny. All right, it stopped being funny. It became more of an issue over time because she began missing these problems more and more. All right, a lot of that happens with your auditory deprivation. All right, and then I come on over here. What ends up happening is sound comes in through the ear canal. All right, it hits your tympanic membrane or your eardrum, and it goes directly to the cochlea. All right, now the cochlea is responsible for sound and balance. All right, connected to the cochlea is something called your eighth cranial nerve. That nerve is just like a muscle. All right, so obviously if you don't use it, you
lose it.
Exactly. So when that nerve shrinks, it no longer sends the proper stimulus to the brain. All right, primarily the Wernicke's and the hippocampus. All right, Wernicke's region of the brain is going to be speech processing. All right, what you're hearing, what you're understanding. Once that begins to deteriorate or calcify, as I like to say, then it's going to affect more of the hippocampus, which controls short-term and long-term memory. All right, that's something that has been affecting my grandmother at this point in time. Now, like I said, my grandmother is 88 years old, but one thing that we are noticing is her memory is declining. All right, she was recently diagnosed with dementia, and that's when it became a situation where it wasn't funny anymore. All right, I love my grandmother to death. I see her all the time, and you got to be realistic as well. She's 88 years old, so this decline does happen naturally as well. But I will tell you right now that one of the leading causes of these are going to be hearing deprivation. What I'm going to do now with you is I'm actually going to put you in the booth and we're going to test you, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over your results with you once you come out, and we'll go over some options if that leads to it.